What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we're going to have a little bit of a story time, a sad story time. We're going to talk about two different companies, Smith and Wesson, which you all probably know, and another one that many of you probably know, but probably don't realize is not really a company anymore, and that's Thompson Center Arms. So real quick, who is Thompson Center Arms? Well, in the 60s, a man named Warren Center began making a single-shot break-action pistol called the Contender. He did it in his basement. Later on, he teamed up with the K.W. Thompson Tool Company, and Thompson Center was born. They started marketing these Contender pistols, and at the same time, they were working on muzzleloaders. And in the early 70s, they basically reinvented how we deal with muzzleloading guns now. They put the life back into muzzleloading, and their names are on a lot of muzzleloading products. Less and less and less as we go forward now, though. So Thompson Center continued to have great success with their Contender pistols, their Encore rifles, their muzzleloaders, and various other rifles and pistols that they've had. They have bolt actions. They actually have semi-automatic things too. Not a lot of people know how many different guns Thompson Center actually has out there. Thompson Center even made history by going on to fight a legal battle for us in 1992, all the way up to the Supreme Court. It was a very important case. The case was actually United States versus Thompson Center. And what it revolved around was the Encore pistol being able to be detached so you could remove the top part, the barrel, and you could have interchangeable barrels. So it's actually pretty similar to what we hear going on now about certain language with laws and pistols and rifles. But what was going on then is the receiver itself was able to take a pistol grip or a buttstock, and it could be configured with a longer barrel and a buttstock for a rifle, or a pistol grip and a shorter barrel for a pistol. Well, the government took issue with that because they figured that you could use the short barrel with the buttstock and create short barrel rifles. And they intended on making that illegal and saying you can't have those in the same place as each other. You either have to have the pistols or the rifles, but you can't have it all interchangeable, and they really went after that. Thompson Center won the case, therefore setting precedent over these type of firearms, these single-shot break-action firearms. It was a total win for the gun community. But let's fast forward to the topic of today's video, and that is in 2007, Smith and Wesson came into the picture and had to ruin things. They didn't immediately ruin things, but that's when they purchased Thompson Center, and that's when they started the ball rolling. By December of 2010, they were moving all of the Thompson Center operations from Rochester to Massachusetts. So they closed that old-time facility in Rochester, but they pretty quickly reopened it back up under another company, and that was Thompson Center Investment Casting, and they started making metal parts for various companies, including Smith and Wesson. So they moved the operations of the gun building process and the machines and the people, but they used that facility to start making more gun parts. So they continue to make these firearms in a certain capacity. I'm not sure when the thought process started, if not immediately, of when to finally kill off Thompson Center, but somewhere along the line, it happened. Then let us fast forward to 2021. So I found many articles about this. Some of them were more on the investment side, and some of them were more on the gun industry side. But let me read you a short blip from guns.com. They made a pretty simple, easy to understand article in 2001 explaining exactly why we're in trouble today with Thompson Center. So this is May 4th, 2001. Massachusetts-based Smith and Wesson on Monday announced its intent to divest the company of the Thompson Center Arms brand in the near future. In a release, the publicly traded company said the move to sever the TC branch of the storied American gunmaker was to better focus on core Smith and Wesson brands. Thompson Center is a beloved hunting brand with a long-standing heritage, and we are committed to ensuring a smooth transition, said Mark P. Smith, President and CEO of Smith and Wesson Brands Incorporated. Thompson Center Arms loyal customers should rest assured that they will continue to receive the world-class firearms, accessories, and customer service support that the brand has been known for since its founding in 1965. Smith cautioned that Smith & Wesson will remain fully committed to hunting and long-range shooting market even without TC, while allowing the company to immediately direct manufacturing capacity to increase overall production volumes, allowing us to gain additional market share while simultaneously increasing profitability. While a buyer for the TC brand has not been identified, Smith said the planned carve-off will not result in a workforce reduction as employees will be repurposed. So immediately after this announcement, their stocks jumped up 7.3%. Imagine that. So now think about the timing of this. We're talking March of 2021. So when they saw an opportunity to just make as many guns as they can and just throw out as much of the basic common Smith & Wesson stuff as they possibly can to make as much money as they possibly could, they decided it was worth it to destroy a company over it. All those employees got repurposed. I bet you a lot of them are actually gone. I bet you they couldn't get a team together to make these guns if they tried right now. From what I've heard, all of the machinery has been repurposed to other things. In my opinion, these guns are not coming back. Thompson Center is gone. And that's why you can't find these guns now. If you find them on the auction sites, they're outrageous. They're just toast. They're history. It reminds me of something that Remington did to H&R, but that's a different story for another day. The bottom line is you guys need to know, because this was pretty much news to me until recently, you need to know that a company like Smith and Wesson is willing to completely screw over the gun community and what people would like to have. You know, it might not be the most profitable line compared to selling their basic M&P 2.0s all day long, but you destroyed a brand like Thompson Center that made muzzle-loading guns and really nice single-shot rifles chambered in a lot of exotic calibers sometimes, or you could get them changed around. The bottom line is it was a great brand, and what did we stop it for? So that we could come out with the CSX and the Equalizer and the Competitor and the Bullpup shotgun and things like that, the failing M&P 10. I mean, I can sit here and name some products that Smith & Wesson is never going to make their money back on. The 30 Super Carry collaboration that they had. We got rid of Thompson Center so that we could have all that, so that we could sell a handful of CSXs. I mean, come on. But it's not about the person. It's not about the hunter. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about money. It's about greed. It's about the stock market. That's all these companies care about. Just remember that. That's why we don't have primers right now. That's why ammunition is still spiked. That's why they go for every government or military contract they can get. That's why Smith & Wesson has something on their revolvers called the Hillary hole. Don't forget about that. I did a video not too long ago talking about the downfall of Smith & Wesson, and I, to this day, believe it's true. When I even look back at this article here, this is history, but still, this talks about right now. This talks about the company that Smith & Wesson is. They haven't changed a bit. They're just out for the money. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. You guys know what happened, and you guys know who did it. And now you know why you can't find Thompson Center anything if you've been looking for it. So thanks Smith & Wesson for destroying a company and then really not doing much to help us after that. Hope you enjoyed this kind of content. If you do, please hit subscribe. And until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.